Hey everyone, it's Mariana and let's talk about The Night Of. This is an excellent 8-episode miniseries that recently aired on HBO, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm pretty much here to tell you why you should, because it is pretty amazing. As always, this review is going to have no spoilers, but in order to describe the premise to you, I kind of have to tell you a lot about episode 1. So if that bothers you and you want to go in completely blind, I'm just letting you know that that's about to happen. You've been warned. So The Night Of is a crime drama that's also a bit of a mystery and a bit of a coming-of-age story, and it centers around Naz, played by Riz Ahmed, whom you may remember from Nightcrawler or more recently from Jason Bourne. Naz is a college student. He's generally a nice guy. He comes from a nice family, but he gets into a lot of trouble by spending the night with a mysterious girl he just met and then waking up to her being brutally murdered. Of course, Naz immediately gets arrested and becomes the main suspect in this murder case. The lawyer who steps in to represent him is John Stone, played by John Turturro, who isn't exactly famous for these kinds of cases. What follows is the story of Naz's trial, but more importantly, a detailed look at how this affects this young guy, his family, and pretty much anyone who has anything to do with this case. Now, you guys already know how much I love good character development, and this miniseries gave me so much of that. It is a fascinating character study, not just for two lead characters, Naz and John. Of course, they are the lead characters, so they get the most development, but also there are quite a few very interesting secondary characters that do get attention as well, and they do feel like real people, and through bits of dialogue and through just things that happen and the way that they're portrayed, you find out so much about them and get a really clear picture of this community in a way. And of course, it was fascinating, but also kind of terrifying to watch Naz kind of grow up and change a little bit throughout this whole process. One of the best things about The Night Of is the writing, and it is a pretty moderately paced show. It's definitely not in a hurry to tell the story, but I was never bored watching it because every detail matters and every detail is interesting, and you can tell that every detail has a certain purpose. And there's a lot of good tension throughout from the very beginning, but there are definitely some moments in there where I was very concerned for the outcome of the situation. Until the very end, there are moments where you're going to be on the edge of your seat. There's also pretty much no filler or throwaway dialogue. Every word serves a purpose, whether it's for character development or it's to slowly reveal the mystery of what actually happened, or to foreshadow the events that are going to come in the future. It's very, very well written. And speaking of the mystery, it would have been so easy for the show to become your typical whodunit, but that's not what The Night Of does. It focuses on the people, it focuses on the character, and as a result, when you're watching it, you do care about the mystery part and you do want to know what actually happened, but what you care the most about is the drama and the relationships and everything that happens between the people who are involved. I also loved the way everything was shot, the color palette, the cinematography, the tone. It all came together and every detail mattered to create this atmosphere that fit the story so well. It's just a case of the visual storytelling and the written storytelling coming together in the best way possible. And I do have to say, I thought the ending was great. And of course, I'm not going to spoil anything or tell you how things ended, but I just thought the ending that this miniseries had fit the story really well. Once again, it's a case of everything fitting together, and it went with the rest of the miniseries, and it also felt honest and realistic. And I am rarely satisfied with endings, but this was definitely the case of me feeling like this ending is what the miniseries deserved. I did have two small issues with The Night Of. Of course, I'm going to nitpick a little bit. The first one is definitely a very small issue, and it is definitely just a little nitpick, and that is the passage of time not really being clear, because you kind of assume that all of this takes a while, and you kind of assume that Nas is going through all of this for a pretty long time. But at the same time, you don't really know how long has it been exactly and how long has it been between scenes, and I feel like they could have made this a little bit more clear. And that actually leads into my other small issue that I had, which is a small issue, it's not just a nitpick, and that is when a certain character, once again no spoilers, but when a certain character makes a certain decision, a certain choice in the second half of the miniseries, and I just thought that came out of nowhere. And I think maybe if the passage of time was a little bit more obvious, it would have made a little bit more sense. But this decision, this choice, and the path that that character goes down afterwards just made little sense to me, because I felt like that wouldn't happen in real life, and particularly because of the position that the character is in and what is at stake, it just seemed like a really, really stupid thing to do, and I was kind of upset about that whole thing happening. If you've seen the show, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean, and if you don't, I can clarify in the comments, but I think maybe if they sold it a little bit better with the passage of time and built it up a little bit better, I would have been more accepting of this situation, but as it was presented, I just was not convinced. Overall though, I highly recommend The Night Of. It's an engrossing, well-made, well-acted, well-written, except for that one part that I had problems with that I just talked about, but generally really well-written miniseries. I would recommend it to pretty much anybody, unless maybe you're really not into crime dramas, but I would still give this one a shot because it's not really your typical crime drama because it focuses so much on the characters. I personally could not stop thinking about it for quite a while, and I still think about it a lot, and I always want to discuss it. As soon as I hear somebody watched it, I need to talk about it. So if you guys want to talk about it in the comments below, let's talk about it. Just give people some spoiler warnings. And as far as the rating goes, I would have to go with 4.5 out of 5 stars because I did have those 2 nitpicks, but it was so close to being a 5 out of 5 for me. That's it for my review of The Night Of. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because as I mentioned, I really want to talk about it and I will never be tired of talking about it. So spoiler warnings for those who haven't seen it, and let's discuss. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!